Welcome back to Retirement Today. Your co-host here, Jonathan Berglund. With me here in the studio is Michael Reese. He's a certified financial planning professional. But in this segment, we're not talking necessarily about financial things. We have some fun, right, Mike? What do we do here?
That's right. This is our favorite episode, my favorite episode of the week, where I get to be king for a day. All right, so here's the thing. It is the beginning of football season.
We're here. It's
Right?
honest.
I'm excited. I love football season. It's my favorite sport. And you know what? Normally each week when I'm king for a day, we make like one rule that is financially related
Yeah.
and one rule that is just fun. So I actually this week I'm going to do a financial rule and and just a fun one, but they're both going to be related to football.
Oh, okay.
And the financial one I think is actually going to be related to all sports.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So here you go. Let's talk about something that, now this one doesn't annoy me as much as it makes me a little sad.
Okay.
So you ever see how maybe it's not it might be a football player, it might be a basketball player or a baseball, some major sports athlete, where you see them after their career, they basically end up dead broke. Like
yeah.
they make millions and millions and millions of dollars during
Yes.
their career,
Yeah.
and they retire and they're dead broke.
Yeah.
Right?
For whatever reason. I mean, you hear all the stories and stuff. It's sad. It is
Well,
sad.
and a lot of times what happens, I think, is some of these athletes are coming from maybe a background where a lot of poverty. They weren't they weren't taught the same types of things that maybe a lot of us were. They don't have the financial understanding.
Right.
They have the "I got money, I want to spend it"
And
idea.
at a young age, too.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
So one of the things I'm thinking about that this is something I think would be a really good idea is I think that when you are a pro athlete, when you're getting, let's say you're getting north of $1 million for your annual income that year,
Yeah.
right? I think it'd be a good rule that you are required by law to set aside some percentage of that would go into an account that builds up an additional pension for you for your later years. Like an income you can't outlive.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't care if you're, if you're a basketball player and you sign a $30 million contract, right? I think that, of that $30 million, okay, for anything over $1 million, it's $29 million, maybe 20% of it, $5 million of it goes into some kind of like a pension plan that will pay you income for your lifetime after you retire, right? And because I'm king, and I hate seeing these poor, like I want to help kind of protect them against themselves.
Yeah.
What if we made it, they could deduct it like a 401k payment.
Okay.
They only pay taxes, the money comes out later on,
I like that.
right? So they don't get hammered in taxes. So I think that would be a great rule for professional athletes. For those making a lot of money, this helps protect them against, it's like what they would do for themselves anyway. The smart ones are doing that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe all of them can kind of, I don't ever want to read about how some athlete that made millions of dollars during their lifetime ended up losing it all because of financial mismanagement.
Yeah.
Right? And since I'm on that topic, what if we extended that to just anybody who makes over a certain amount of income?
Yeah, not even sports related, right? Just
Maybe I'm onto something here. Maybe we should say, look, if you make over, I don't know, $250, anything over $250,000 a year, you're probably making enough money. You could take some portion above that, put in some kind of a pension plan for yourself. Ooh, I like that idea, Beth.
that's not bad,
I just came up with that on top of just standing here on my feet.
And I kind of like that better. It's not Social Security where you pay in and you don't know if you're going to get it all. It's like
It's your money.
Your money. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
if
doesn't
you-
leave you.
Yeah, if you die, if you haven't spent it, it goes to your beneficiaries.
Yeah.
So your family doesn't lose the money. It's just, but it's designed in such a way that you're protected. So I'm going to go with that. So financial rule is going to be if you make anybody makes over 250 grand, 20% of whatever they make above that number must go into a private pension plan where they get a tax deduction on that money, but it will be paid out as a pension after they retire. And it can be flexible. They could start when they're 30, they could start when they're 60, it's up to them, right? And whatever is left in that account when they die goes to their beneficiaries, and it all gets taxed down the road. How's that?
I like it. I think that would help a lot of people.
All right, we're in. All right, so we have decided it is law. By the way, what's kind of nice about that law is that hits our topic today, which is, happy people. The secret to happiness in retirement is stable and predictable income.
You'll appreciate it, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, now we got to have a fun one.
Okay, all right.
It is football season, right?
It is.
And
It's
UT. Oh, boy. See how the Longhorns do this year. But anyway, I've decided, I was watching my daughter goes to Hyde Park.
Okay.
Jonathan, the Hyde Park high school football team last year was horrendous.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
They would get blitzed like 56-0 every single week. Yet they got a new coach. Now this year it's the opposite.
Really?
Last year they lose every game 56-0. This year now they're winning every game like 56-0.
Good for them.
But there is a rule that I've noticed in high school football. They call it the mercy rule. I'm not 100% certain how it works, in all honesty.
I've never seen this come into play personally.
I can tell you that I can't remember the last time a Hyde Park football game last year or this year made it to the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Because by the time the third quarter is over, they say, okay, if the score is so lopsided, if one team is so far a certain number ahead of the other, they just say, you know what, let's not play the fourth quarter. We don't want to injure the kids.
Yeah.
It's clear that we've got a winner here. Let's just call it a night.
Is this a referee decision, or is this one of the coaches saying this?
I have no idea.
Okay.
You are assuming that I know the rules of high school football in Texas, and I do not, in regards to the mercy rule.
Fair enough.
I should have done some Google research before the show.
Maybe so.
But, I also was thinking about, in college, sometimes you get these blowouts.
Yeah, it does happen.
Right? And, the coaches, I know what they're saying. The coaches are saying, well, this gives us an opportunity to play the second string or the third string, the guys that don't normally get in the game. I get that. But at the same time, I've seen athletes get injured, broken bones, or like serious injuries, like they blow out their knee maybe.
Right.
In a meaningless part of the game. Again, the game's already decided, and here we have people getting hurt because they have to play out through 4 quarters. So, I'm thinking for college, we should have a mercy rule like high school. Like, we could say, hey, once you pass the third quarter, right, if one team is, 40 points ahead of the other, it doesn't have to be close. I mean, it could be a pretty good size difference. If one team's 40 points ahead of the other, all the fans have left anyway.
Yeah, that's right. You start leaving, that's right.
Why not? But let's pick a number.
I like that.
What's a I don't know what the right number is. We can do a committee. Like we could do some kind of statistical committee, right? Where they say, hey, based upon this number, 99.99% of the time, if they're up by this much of a score by the fourth quarter, they're up this many points.
Yeah.
Statistically, they're going to win.
I would think 5 touchdowns, like 35 points.
There you go.
That's got to. 5
yeah,
touchdowns.
There you go.
That's a lot.
That's a good one. Okay, there you go. If you're up 35 points, you're good. Although I seem to recall that something about the crazy fourth quarter of a game. You always read these. Right?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that's been broken.
Those are by far the exception, not the rule. So the idea is, once you get to the fourth quarter, so you play the full 3 quarters, no matter what. The minute you get to the fourth quarter, if you're more than 35 points ahead or more, we're done. Mercy rule, you're mercied out, game over. Right? How's that?
I think that's fair. I think that would save a lot of fans too, right? Because they're like, do I stick around for the fourth quarter?
You know who doesn't like this idea? Probably the TV networks, because they want their
advertising. Yes.
But I'm king today, so I don't care about the TV networks, right? I'm caring more about, the fans are leaving anyway. I don't want to see these. They are not professionals, right? It's not the NFL. They are still students. They're still kind of, yes, they're getting NIL money these days, but they're still amateurs, right?
Mhm.
There's no reason to threaten the physical well-being of these young men just because, I don't know, the TV stations want it going on, right? So I'm going with that. How do you feel?
I like that. I would appreciate that as a fan, just in general. I think that's a
Yeah.
good call.
Good, we're Mercy. Now I can go home. Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, well, usually it's happening when you've got like some big, like Alabama versus, Western Arizona,
I was gonna
Western
say, yeah.
Arizona or Western Alaska, or one of these,
Yeah, some school that
directions.
you're not familiar with. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's just not let's not have kids get hurt.
Oh.
All right, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go that 35 points or more in the fourth quarter, you're ahead. You are automatically the winner. The game is over. Mercy rule done. I think I like it. It is now law. All right, so we've had a little fun here with our King for the Day segment.
That was fun.
We talked about if you make a certain amount of money, you got to put it in pension plan. Mercy rules in football.
Yeah.
I don't want you going anywhere though, because we are talking about retirement planning.
Bringing it back.
When
yeah.
we come back, the last segment, we're going to talk about taxes and retirement plans and how do you reduce taxes in retirement. Great topic. We'll see you in just a few minutes.